Vaya con Dios, amigo.
What's that mean?
Go with God.
You're listening to the Rock God Podcast. Welcome to another episode of the Rock God Podcast, the only podcast that talks to rock and heavy metal musicians and artists about their thoughts or opinions about God. I'm your host, David Locklear, the owner and head writer at heavy-vinyl.com. Today we're talking to drummer Pete Sandoval. Pete has made his name as a legend in the drumming arena, playing in two legendary heavy metal bands, Morbid Angel and Terrorizer. He's often been cited as the father of the blast beat and also been known as Pete the Feet for his almost inhuman ability to play drums as fast as he has for the past 30 years. He was one of the first ones to really do the double blast beat in the 1980s, and many drummers have cited him as a huge influence on their style. In 2010, Sandoval had to undergo surgery for a prolapsed disc in his back, rendering him unable to perform on the drums or any of the Morbid Angel albums due to the recovery process. It was during this recovery that he found himself moved by the Holy Spirit and made a spiritual commitment to become a Christian. And though members of Morbid Angel have stated over the years that it was Pete's new faith that made him incompatible with the band, Pete has always maintained that that was never the case. Today, Pete talks to us about how Mozart had a heavy influence on early Morbid Angel albums, how he's being happy playing in his band Terrorizer, and how he doesn't really care for death metal any longer. And just as a side note, when I was talking to Pete, we were talking through a Bluetooth device that sometimes dropped in and out and made some of the things he had to say hard to hear. But I tried to brush this up as best that I could, but I still think that what he had to say was important and interesting, so I did leave some of the harder to hear parts in. I hope you can forgive me.
Okay, everybody, how y'all doing today? Great. Okay. All right, Pete, let me go ahead and hear your kick drum, please. Okay, Pete. Okay, Pete. Now can I just hear your kick drum, please?
Well,
Yeah.
let me bring the volume down. Hold on.
Okay.
Because I like to have some classical in the background always.
Oh yeah, that was actually one of the things I was going to ask you about was the classical music. I noticed on your Facebook you talked a lot about Mozart and whatnot that you've been listening to here recently.
Yes. Mozart definitely has a lot of music. I mean, that he wrote, and especially the piano concertos that I love the most. You know, but then he's got played tons of symphonies and sonatas and you name it. And also, Ludwig van Beethoven is another one. Listen to among many other of them. You know what I mean? But Mozart is really my number one composer.
How long have you been listening to classical music like this?
Well, like this, seriously, like now that I've been taking seriously this, it's been like a year ago since I started listening to a lot. Because I started with listening to movie soundtracks, you know.
Yeah.
And which I still love, you know. There's so many different kinds, so many different genres of soundtracks as well. So now it's all classical, you know. I just like there is no way that I can go a day without listening to Mozart.
Now, who was there anybody or anything in particular that got you into Mozart this way?
No, you know. In fact, when I first joined Morbid Angel back in what was the 4th of July, 1988. When I joined Morbid Angel, I moved from California to Florida, where they were living.
Yeah.
And they were listening to a lot of Mozart, you know, like some symphonies. I know Trey and David will play a lot of it, and that's where I started to get into the classical music, but not, you know, a lot, no big. Not a lot, not because my main purpose there was drums, and I had to focus on the beginning, you know, of this long journey that I started back in '89 with these guys.
Yeah, that surprises me to hear because I guess classical music seems to be something that when you, I guess, get a little older is something that you start to appreciate. So the fact that you guys were really getting a kick out of that in the early Morbid Angel days is pretty surprising to hear.
Yeah, but now, you know, at this age, I realize there's no age really for classical music, you know, because you can be like a young kid, and you might be given some classical music to listen to, and so that depends, you know, on the person, I guess. You know, so a lot of people are interested in different kinds of music, you know what I mean? But there are some of them that really are born for that, you know what I mean, for the classical taste. And if they are introduced earlier, it's the best, you know what I mean? It's the best because they got all life to develop themselves and become, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something, or do something, or write something, or whatever. But yes, but I agree with you. You know, most people at the older age, it's like when they started, you know, listening to more, you know, softer music, like, you know, and among this soft music is classical, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Classical, it's just like and my favorite ones are the piano concertos, definitely, because I love piano, you know.
Do those just move you in like some sort of specific way that you can't explain?
Was that again?
Yeah, do the piano, does that move you in some sort of way that that's hard to explain?
Well, it's a melody.
Mm-hmm.
Not to the piano, melody, with a piano, coming out of the piano keys, and it's about a melody, the piano mixed with the rest of the orchestra, you know, and it's actually the melodies, you know what I mean? Is what get anybody in Mozart. I mean, I can pick like he wrote 27 piano concertos.
Mm-hmm.
Out of those 27 piano concertos that Amadeus wrote, I can pick at least about 12 to 15 of them are so superb, so amazing. And he wrote 41 symphonies.
Yeah.
And out of those 41 symphonies, it's a lot. It's at least 20, 25 symphonies are. So this guy, he started at a young age. Like I'm as far as I'm, that I know that his first symphony was written when he was like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And the first symphony, it's a great symphony for me. It's like, wow, the number one, the first one, and he writes such a special number one symphony. No. What I mean, yes, symphony. Yeah, we're talking about symphonies right now. And then going on into the symphony number 2, which is okay, onto the second movement, which is a favorite. And then, then you can go up to the 9th to the 10th symphony, and then you can continue on to the 15th symphony. And man, there's so much music to absorb that there's not enough time on the lifetime that we have on Earth to be able to get every single note, every single melody, every single change, every single part of the whole symphony, of the whole piano concerto. There's so much in it. For me, it's like it's like it's like beauty. I mean, it goes in. It goes with a beautiful music, peaceful music, anti-anxiety music, anti-depressive music that goes along with our God, that can help us with all this, with all these things in life that we have, all these I would say all these struggles and battles, daily battles and struggles that we go on as human beings, man.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. I mean, I've always kind of contended with a lot of people that one of the reasons I loved music so much was I felt like it connected me to God in a way that I couldn't necessarily explain. But the passion that you're talking about and talking with about music, about classical music, is very much what I've tried to explain to people about the connection to God that I feel in music.
Right, and how long have you been a Christian, and what are you as far as in this? What do you stand up as who?
Oh yeah, I call myself. I've been a Christian since I was I guess about 5 years old.
Okay, so your family introduced you, obviously.
Yeah.
Your family were Christians, and they like, teach a child in the way that he grows, so when he grows up, when he grows older,
yep,
he'll depart from it, right?
Yep.
So that's the best age. Like I tell all my friends, everybody, that the best age to discipline, to form a kid when he's young, when he's little. Once, 10 and up or 8 and up, it's impossible. It's hard. But that's great, man. So how are you now? I mean.
Oh yeah, I still am. I would say that.
How old are you now?
Oh, how old am I? I'm sorry. I'm 44.
Yeah. Okay, you're in your 40s, so you've been a Christian all your life? Pretty
Yeah.
much? All right, so what are you now? Are you like a pastor,
Well,
a member of a church? What are you? I can hear that you like to preach, you like that you have knowledge, some knowledge of God, of course, of wisdom.
oh, well, thank you. I think that's the first time anyone's ever said I have wisdom. I appreciate that.
well, because if we see God first, there's no other wisdom,
Right.
not the world, that compares to God's wisdom. So if you love God, therefore, I can tell you have wisdom of God already. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Period. You know what I mean? Because that's one of his, one of the blessings, you know what I mean, is wisdom, and then his protection, and his blessings, and etc.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great, man. So what are you then? I mean, you didn't answer my question. I mean,
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I am currently I'm a Presbyterian. I teach Sunday school at a church in town, and so I when I grew up, I was more of a Baptist, more of a fundamentalist Southern Baptist. But as I got older, that changed quite a bit.
Okay, you were a Baptist, and now you are a Presbyterian. You say?
Yes.
And what is the difference between them two? Because are they two different religions or what?
Well, the Southern Baptist fundamentalism tends to be very strict with their rules, and they're very, in my experience, they were very condemning. It was very much if you do bad things, you'll go to hell, and it was a constant struggle to not feel fear of God in the bad way.
Baptist, right?
Yeah. And when
the Baptist.
the Baptist.
I hear the Baptist is pretty they're strict.
Yeah.
Pretty much with the scriptures and stuff.
Yeah.
So what is the difference?
Yeah, there really is. And the church that we're in now, one of the big appeals for us was the pastor was very, very adamant about no one should feel shame or be afraid of God. They should be fully excited about God, excited about growing with God, knowing that you don't have to be ashamed of things you've done in the past, and that if you have this mindset, you'll grow to understand God better. And that,
I mean, as long as we repent and we ask for forgiveness, we're not to be worry about the things that we've done in the past, right?
Yeah.
Because we always ask for forgiveness, price for forgiveness, and whatever, right? So, all right. So, okay. I'm a little bit okay. So this new Presbyterian is like the pastor is more like it's more like easy on the scriptures or difference. I mean, it's saying it's all based. Both religions are based on the same Bible, right?
Yes.
The King James, or you know what I mean, based on the evangelical.
Yeah, it's generally the King James, sometimes New International Version.
New International NIV, that's one of them that I don't advise to people. But the one that I I really like is the New Living. What is it called? The NLV.
Oh yeah.
That one is pretty good to me, but there's so many versions, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
So I'm not going to put down any these ones are not wrong. You know why, but NIV, yes, it's more, it's a lot more clear in many parts. So you are pretty much King James and the NIV. All right, man. So what else?
I think with me, I actually kind of like the King James because it seems to have a bit of a poetry to the language that's missing in other translations.
Yeah, the language. Yeah, of course. Me too. I prefer the both, the original King and the new King's version, which is a little easier, for a lot of new Christians, especially.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But
were you born a Christian? Like, before you started in the band?
No. Well, how do you know about me?
Well, I know about you because when I was a teenager, your album scared me because of my Baptist background, but then I heard the song Drum Check, and I heard the way you played, it absolutely blew my mind. And so then I started listening, and what I did was, with Morbid Angel, like I still do, is I don't really pay attention to the lyrics, but I just really enjoy the sound.
The music, right?
Yeah,
the rhythm section and stuff, and the drumming, and in the way that the songs move, and okay. So you're still someone that, okay, so you are free. So you are someone that I'm not afraid of this or that. You go there and you evaluate an album. I mean, you listen to, do you listen to different kinds of genres? I mean, do you still listen to death metal?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I listen to just about every type of metal that there is. I love death metal.
Okay, and grindcore, you are also familiar with my new band with Terrorizer, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. So you know that, what albums did you hear from Morbid Angel? Did you listen to a few or just one album, and then you like the album, or you hear other albums too?
Oh, I've heard all of the albums, but the one that always stayed with me was Altars of Madness.
Right, and that's the most satanic one.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, that's cool, bro. I mean, I appreciate. You know what? It's so hard not to like an album like that because I mean, when you put away the lyrics, okay, you have some music. I mean, a lot of Mozart influence in that album. That's why this dude, Terrorizer, though, he was very influenced, and he would listen to Mozart, and that album. I mean, and Blessed of the Sick too. Some of the songs. Mm-hmm. There were some of the songs that were written even before I joined the band in '88. The songs that were written since 1986. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's the music that captivates the listener. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's the melodies, it's the songs. So I am there with you. But to be honest with you, for me, I don't listen to death metal anymore, and not because I got older. No, man, I'm playing grindcore. I'm doing the blast beat still on my edge. Mm-hmm. Thank God, that I can still do it. A lot of people come to me and say, "Wow, I can't believe that you're still doing this, and you're doing it better than before." You're doing it with more conviction, more power, and still fast. And hey, I don't know. I don't have I don't think about that, you know what I mean? I just go forward. I don't even think of my age when I'm playing this. But I don't listen to death metal. I mean, number one, I don't like death metal anymore.
Oh, okay.
You see, when I tell you about soundtracks and classical music and some Spanish guitar music, which is classical, falls into the category of classical.
Yeah.
That's what my life is so, you know what I mean? But, hey, you're only 44, you're saying, I am 55. But it's not my age, bro, because I appreciate all kinds of music. It's just that a lot of death metal bands nowadays, it's just impossible there's like hundreds, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many bands that you just, I don't have time to listen to so many bands that sound the same. A lot of them sound even the same. You know, the time for this, I think for a lot of new bands, it's a little bit too late, you know what I mean? Because the death metal season, the decades, which was the 90s and the 2000s, up to the 2010, it's over, man. And now it's just everybody wants to play death metal. All these underground bands, you know, these new kids, especially new kids. And they all want to have these symbols, you know what I mean? They all want to have, because it's a trend. They want to be like everybody else, you know, these black metal bands from Europe.
Yeah.
These black metal bands that they just have, they kind of have this hatred towards Christianity or towards Christ, because they even have this satanic symbols with a Baphomet on the front and with the upside down crosses on the side with Christ. Come on, this is just too much in my opinion.
Yeah.
I just go, man, you know what I mean? But that's when he goes, man, you feel mad about these guys or you feel sorry for these guys?
Yeah.
No, man. You gotta feel sorry for these guys, because a lot of these guys don't even know what they're doing. They're just following, they're just doing what everybody else is doing. And some bands do take this ideology, this satanic ideology serious. Some bands really do take it seriously. As I think Morbid Angel used to take it seriously in the early days. But again, we were all young. But I'm not saying that I was also. Bro, I came in the band. You know, I was playing for Terrorizer before I joined in '88. I recorded some demos, but that was grindcore. That was like punk rock. I was never into death metal. I didn't even know. Well, death metal didn't exist yet.
Yeah.
86, 87. That was like speed metal, you know, Slayer, Metallica, you know, Megadeth, all this stuff was going on. And death metal or grindcore wasn't the time yet until the beginning, the starting of the 90s.
Yeah.
You know, when our first album came out, and then the Terrorizer album, World Alpha, came out. But before that, before I joined Morbid Angel, you know, I didn't even know what. Dude, I was somebody, you know, like, let's say an ignorant kid, because my parents were like, I wouldn't say atheists, but my mom, I mean, she didn't even know, she was not a Christian, she will believe in God. Who doesn't believe in God, right? So, when I, going back, so when I joined Morbid Angel, I love the music. Like you're saying, when you hear the music, you love the music, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of catch yourself. But you see, I never went in and studied the lyrics. Number one, I would have never understood those lyrics. I would have thought they were just a bunch of, you know, hocus pocus, whatever, or just fantasy. But I wasn't even someone like that. I never cared to even ask about what's this song about.
Yeah.
Nothing. I just loved the music so much that I did my drum tracks, you know, not knowing what the lyrics were about. I recorded the Atos Alanis, and the drums were ready. And as you know, the drums are the first thing that the old bands record during studio time is the drums. We got to get the basic, the foundation, the drums, and then comes the guitars, you know, and then the bass, and the last is the bass, is the vocal, right?
Yeah.
So I never paid attention to those lyrics, you know what I mean? But now that I know about the meanings, you know, the extent of how can I say the evil brutality, you know, because of the lyrics. So now that I see that, I just see, okay, let's take one song. Let's take one song, for instance, that I would never play, that I will never listen to. Blasphemy of the Holy Ghost. What do you say about that one? I will never, if I was a Christian, I would stay away from that one. You know, so believe me, okay, to tell you, I don't want to sound like a too you know, like a totally Christian Jew, which you know, you gotta prove. Christianity is a proven thing, you know what I mean? Is to not words. Words mean nothing. It's how you behave, how you prove yourself in front of others. That's how you prove whether you're a Christian or not. But let me tell you one thing. I think listening to albums like that now, in my opinion, that's just mine.
Yeah.
It's not such a good idea. I don't think, I don't, because those are not things of God, not just talking about the lyrics, talking about music in general. It's a music that belongs to the world. And the world is owned by Satan. Satan is the God of this world, as you know, right?
Yeah.
We all know. So hey, I'm not telling you no, listen to it, bro. You know what you're doing, and it's all up to us on how weak we are, you know what I mean? It's something that doesn't affect you in a negative way. And you still stand strong and firm with God, bro, you're fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the thing is, dude, items that represent Satan. Symbols that represent Satan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like with me, I won't wear any kind of shirt or any of that kind of stuff, if it's got that kind of stuff, I don't do that. Because I hear all the time, dude, if you are a Christian and you want to have more power spiritually, gaining more power spiritually with God, I'm not telling you, I'm not asking you to get rid of all the satanic stuff that you have in your house, whatever, bro. This is what they say, is what I hear. Once you remove everything that is satanic, and you start bringing things, and that means T-shirts, CDs, albums, or posters, anything, my friend. And then you bring in things of God. I know the house changes, because demons dwell among diabolical items, which is many of these bands are very diabolical. But some of these bands, like I was telling you, they don't even know that, because a lot of bands take this as hey, these guys are doing it big. The satanic, the real satanic, we want to be that too. You know what I mean? Not being real satanic, they're falling on the same. But these guys, they're nothing. They're just playing music. All right, man. I think I've been talking too much, and you haven't even asked me the first question. Oh, no, that's okay. I like to hear what people have to say. I mean, that's a big part of why I do this, is because I enjoy hearing what someone... their ideas or perspectives on things. I mean, for example, with you say you weren't born a Christian, and you didn't really come from a Christian family.
No. Let me tell you one thing, my friend. I was not born a Christian. Come on. If I would have been a Christian, I would have never joined the band Morbid Angel.
Right. I
was not a Christian then when I played with Terrorizer, when I recorded demos back in 86, 87. And I did so many tours. In 1990, 2008. After 2008, I was with Morbid, and then my back surgery, right? My back surgery.
Yeah.
It did not, it did not enable me to play anymore. I didn't even know I would come back. That's how bad I was. It took me so many years to recover with my back surgery. And that's when my departure from Morbid Angel was. And I was not a Christian yet. I didn't know God yet. I was just like before. You see?
Yeah.
This is what I think, what I believe. Because some people ask me, so how do you find God? They go, how do you find God then? Come on, what do you mean, how do you find God? God is everywhere. God is everywhere. How do you find God?
Yeah.
No, man. I have another, because a lot of people may search for God, but they don't do it with their own, with their own heart and soul and mind and spirit. They will not. God is not going to And also patience is also necessary because God is not going to answer immediately. He might or he might not. Okay? But the thing is with me, bro, I was going through these 6 years almost of recovery. I did an album, Horror Zombies with Terrorizer, back in 2012, but I barely made it because I was so bad when my surgery was still affecting me. After that, I didn't do nothing for another 2 years until the end of 2014, where I started jamming with Lee Harrison from Monstrosity and Sara Molina, and we started just playing for fun, Terrorizer tunes, and then it became what it has become.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, and a lot of people don't seem to grasp the idea that you didn't leave Morbid Angel because you became a Christian. You left Morbid Angel because your back was screwing with you.
Of course. They had already recorded an album with a new drummer, whatever his name is. I'm sorry. You write his name, okay? Don't make me feel bad. Tim Young.
Yeah.
Tim Young. He did the next album, and of course, people didn't like it so much. That album was a controversy because it was half of this metal, half was techno, whatever. But that was not a reason. That's what some people think. I left Morbid Angel because I became a Christian. No, man, I couldn't play Morbid Angel anymore. In fact, it was Morbid Angel's fault. I had 2 herniated discs. One herniated disc, super advanced, and the other one very deforming, that they had to remove. So it was due to all these strenuous and hard work that I've been doing, that I have done with them since the early beginning, because I had to push very hard with my left hand to my left leg, because when I played with Terrorizer, before I played with Morbid, I only played one kick drum. I was good at playing one kick drum, and then I want to play double bass. So I joined Morbid Angel, and suddenly I had to play double bass with them. I had to learn double bass, and it only had like 2.5 months because I already had some shows booked up towards the end of that year, the year of '88. They had some shows booked up, like 6 or 7 shows up north for November, December, and I had to learn double bass before that, and that started the forcing too hard, something pushing too hard and muscle. That's why you got to take your time, and learn things. And not like I did it. I did it like so in a rush, pushing myself, playing like 20 hours a day, passing out in the practice place, waking up and keep on practicing and practicing. I'm still like that, of course, because eventually, when you practice, you will get there.
Yeah.
But let me tell you one thing. Back to the before I became a Christian. How did I become a Christian? Before I didn't even want to hear the Bible. My mom would tell me, son, read this part of the Bible for me, and I would read it. She hoping that I will get something from it, you know what I mean? Or that the Spirit will touch my heart. Mm-hmm. But nothing will. This is what I tell everybody. Christianity is not by force, you know that. You cannot force the Christ into anybody. That Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior, who died for us. For that, it's not forcible. Many people with us. So my friend, before I was just like that, I didn't want to listen, I didn't want to hear, but I will make jokes, bro, of Christians, like everybody else in the band, because that's what I learned. Yeah. Habits from the Morbid Angel band. They hate Christianity. They hate earlier. Not anymore. I'm going to tell you now, because they're growing up, and we're all going through consequences of, when we saw the rape, what we saw. So anyway, bro, I was just like, one day, before that, I had to go through a week of trying to, because I was on some pain medication. Yeah. Because of my surgery. I was taking, I was on methadone, and I was taking I was on Xanax for the anxiety, for the for antisocial thing, because I am very antisocial. So, but anyways, but that week. I mean, it's like when someone is gonna quit, like a drug. Let's say you're gonna do it yourself, and you're just gonna go 1 week cold duck. How do they say?
Cold turkey, yeah.
Cold turkey, cold duck, cold turkey. You got it real fun. Yeah, well, that's what it did. So you know what? I suffered during those days because imagine all the withdrawals. I could have died. On the 4th day, I was having, you don't even know, I was having the diarrhea. I was having, and I was doing it just waiting till midnight to just do one little dose. I was leaving it too soon I should have done it more in the longer, more slowly.
Yeah.
That's how you live this thing. No, I did it in 1 week. So, man, but I won. After the first 6, 7 days, I felt like clean. I feel like, wow.
Yeah.
But it was such a believing only God and I know what I went through.
Mm-hmm.
Only me. There was nobody in the house. That week was a week with God, and that's what I'm telling you. I'm gonna tell you one thing: the God chooses His people. God knows who's gonna follow, who's gonna like Him, and who's not gonna like Him, because God knows the past, the present, and the future.
Yeah.
God knows our thoughts. God knows what we're gonna do tomorrow. God already knows, and so God knows the people that are gonna follow Him, or the people that are not gonna follow Him. So and God looks for brave people. And the thing, I believe that God saw the braveness in me during that week.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I was saying, oh, God help me, but I was not seeking God during the week, you know what I mean? It would have been tremendous.
Yeah.
Man, no, I was listening to Judas Priest, to Pink Floyd. Oh, I love Pink Floyd too, bro. That kind of music. I just love the Moody Blues, Pink Floyd, man, all this classic rock. So I was with this Judas Priest album, this Pink Floyd, the week, bro. And to be honest with you, I do smoke a little weed because it helps me with my pain.
Right.
Now that was the only thing that I was taking me that I was helping me to keep up. I wasn't eating the week. I was just trying to leave those drugs.
Mm-hmm.
The methadone, especially the methadone, that was no. I didn't want to. Bro, it was, imagine leaving not just one, but two. Two of those things are hard to just 1 week. All right. So then after that, I won. I didn't need them anymore. The next week, I started becoming someone else, more productive, believe me, because you feel like you have something that was not letting you be yourself. Actually,
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What God created you to be, free of this thing. And then, like a couple of weeks later, you know what I mean? I'm flipping through channels, and I go to a Christian channel, and there was a pastor talking in there, and it's like the message that he was saying, like it was for me. It came right into my heart, and I don't know what happened, bro. Right there, magic. Mm-hmm. No magic from this world. Supernatural, spiritual, godly magic happened because God converted me at that moment. I believed, how can that happen? Nobody would believe that.
Right. I mean, that's the miracle of the Holy Spirit, I believe.
1 minute, I don't believe in nothing. I did all the ordeal. And 1 other minute, wow, I am reading the Bible. The Bible was there, bro, for years, full of dust. You know how many people have Bibles in their houses and they never read them? Mm. And, man, I started to indulge in the Bible, bro. I started reading Genesis to the end. I started learning, man, and I realized how beautiful the Old Testament was, even though hard to understand, you know, like Leviticus, you know, Numbers, it's things, you know, where God tells you a lot of things, you know, hygiene and things how to live, you know, how to live without getting sick, without getting ill, whatever, and a lot of the laws. But man, I discovered so many things that before I was not interested in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, hey, and you know what happened when you are a newborn Christian? What happened to a newborn Christian? Oh, man, you start talking to your friends about Christ. Every time you see them, and you bother them, and you bother them. and dude, it is because it's like a fanatic. An interview right now, baby. Ahorita regreso. No, I'm sorry, my wife.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Bro, so that's what happened the first year. And you know what happened? I had my Facebook page. There was never Christian anywhere there. It was so photos of drumming of me, of music and blah, blah. And suddenly all I started posting was Christian verses.
Mm-hmm.
People started hating me. I lost a lot of friends. Yeah, so-called friends. Called friends that you don't know on Facebook. They call you friends and go, what kind of friends are you?
Yeah.
Friends. I would say friends. Well, a lot of friends started deleting me because they say, oh, no, this guy just turned, he's crazy. He lost his mind. Or this is not the real Pete Sandoval, no way. Bro, everything was Christian for like years to come.
Yeah.
But that's what happened to the newborn Christian.
Well, yeah, that's pretty normal when somebody comes to the belief, pretty newly, is that it's like, it's like anything new. I mean, you're really, really passionate about it.
Bro, yeah. People have never heard me like that. They're like, wow. And we, like I go to dinner with them. We're in a restaurant. And I have this in my heart. I want to say something about Christ, and then I talk about it, and I start saying, "Hey, you know what? Do you know how we're gonna die, right? Sooner or later, and the worst thing that we don't know is how. There is no, they're young or whatever. It will take you. Do you know what's gonna happen to you? And they don't wanna. That's why they want to avoid the question, or they don't want to talk about death, and they don't want to. And many say, "Oh, I believe this is it," right? Many believe that this is it, this life, and se acabó. And many others think that they're going to be a bird, a butterfly, whatever, reincarnation, blah blah blah. But but. There was like 2 years that I was always bothering my friends with Christ, but they just leave you. They just don't want to hang out with you anymore. Because they want to talk about movies and bands and no, man. So that's what happened to me. And but then, after a few years, I come down. I realized, wait a minute, I don't just want to put verses and verses and verses. It means nothing to these people. These people are not spiritually. You can only discern these verses spiritually. If they're not spiritual, it's like it bothers people in the world. I was bothering all these people with these great verses that I can only understand them and feel them. Mm-hmm. So now I'm going with just, hey, now is what I am. Well, you see, I post Mozart videos, Mozart songs, beautiful piano concertos. That's what I am right now. That's my life. That's what makes me happy, and it gives me peace, peace, but also, not forgetting about God, because God's peace is like no other peace. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you're in a really beautiful place. It's, the young me thinking about the Pete on the drum check, talking about Mozart and being at peace with God is not exactly what I thought I would hear one day, but I'm glad to hear, that is where you are. I mean, that's a pretty, it sounds like you are very happy with where you are.
Oh, of course, man. And I'm not ashamed to say that I am a Christian. I don't have a religion, because Jesus Christ is not a religion. Jesus Christ is pretty much, what we all, the Son of God. And for me, there is no religion. That's why so many people in the world are lost and confused with so many religions, man-made religions that just are there to confuse people. And so many of them, sex, we call it sex pretty much, right? S-E-C-T, sex, whatever. There's so many that even teaching the wrong message to people, and that's what the Bible says. Exactly, there'll be false prophets, false teachers, false this, false that, and that's what's happening right now. I mean, many. Hey, the Jehovah's Witnesses, they got it wrong. They just, but a lot of people are ignorant. They're just there and they believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think a lot of people, when a lot of people are not very critical in the way that they think of things, and I think so many will just kind of fall in line with a lot of the ideas that they're just told without really thinking about it too much.
Right, and without going by themselves and find out by themselves, go there and investigate who formed this Jehovah's Witness religion, who founded it, when, why, what did he do? He was somebody so-called prophet. Why? Because he prophesied many events that were going to occur. Like, I think this guy was from the 1880, something like that, 88. This guy, Russell, I think was his name. He was the first founder of the Jehovah's Witness sect. And this guy supposedly was given this vision, right? And suddenly he's a prophet, and he's prophesying events that did not even occur. The Christ was going to come on the year 19 something. It didn't occur. So many things that prophecy. A prophet cannot miss one prophecy. No way, because have you read Deuteronomy 18:22?
That one.
Just write that down.
Okay.
Deuteronomy 18:22, chapter 18, verse 22. It talks about prophets. And it says, a prophet says there, a real prophet, the God, the Jehovah, God has spoken to them, is a prophet that everything that he prophesies 100%, not even one prophecy will come to fulfill. To be fulfilled. That is a real prophet. The others, if it's a prophet that doesn't fulfill a prophecy, he's a false prophet. He's deceiving people. He's making his own religion, his own,
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that will do that too. You hear it all the time. People prophesying the end of the world or the second coming of Christ, and it never happens. It's
yeah, but the thing that, as you know, there's not such the end of the world yet, because there's going to be wars, and then there's going to be the final Armageddon war.
Yeah,
and supposedly, as I believe, that's when Christ is going to come during the Armageddon, and he's going to annihilate everything that is evil. And so the earth, I think the earth will be, because God is so amazing. God, for us, what is impossible for us, right? For God is possible, for unimaginable for us, it's possible for God. There could be another earth just breathe like he created for us. And then this earth, boom, blows in pieces together with all the evil, all this evil people. There's so many evil people, especially those that are in command of countries, what I mean? So they just, these people, they're so whatever, like I can tell you Venezuela, Colombia, Chile, Central America. It's just the poverty is just amazing. and the rich gets richer, and the poor just dies, pretty much.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that I feel like eventually is going to kind of come to some sort of an explosive head of some sort, just because there doesn't seem to be any attempts to change it. It just seems like the rich will continue to hoard everything for themselves, and the poor will continue to die and to be trampled on until they'll eventually, as history has shown us, there will be some kind of revolt.
Yeah, I can tell you an example. I mean, like in Colombia, for instance, my wife is from Colombia, you know. I've been there like 3-4 times, whatever, when I went to visit before we got married. In Colombia, you know, the daily salary for someone that works after 12 hours a day is only like five to seven at the most dollars a day.
Mm.
Can you believe that?
That's unreal. For what they do, that's unreal.
And then they have the expenses, you know, they have to take the bus, they have to, man, these people barely make, I can imagine, you know what I mean, how can they, and then everything is expensive, so, hey, the Dominican man, you know, the president, whoever, these guys are the evil ones, you know, they are, and you can easily tell these guys are of Satan because, you know, a lot of these people are all evil. They're all satanic because they don't care about themselves. They don't care about anybody else. They don't care about their own people. They're starving and dying of diseases. They don't care about... They just care about themselves and the power. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
The more power someone has, the more they want.
Yeah.
The more money someone has, the more they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Period. That's why they don't care about the poor. It's like what Hitler did in whatever, you know, he got rid of all the Jews. You know, he hated the Jews. I don't know why, you know. He got this hate against the Jews. Suddenly, you know what? And that was World War II, right? He was in war against what? Well, against England, France, United States, and some other countries. Okay, he was in war with these countries. And then, you know the funny thing? He goes in search of people that were not even harming him or were not were not in war with him. And they were the Jews. The Jews that were occupying, you know, parts of Germany, parts of Poland, they were all over, scattered, because there was no Israel then. Yeah. The prophecy has not been completed yet, because you know, when Israel became a nation again, a country, and now nobody can touch it because God is there, and with God there, the whole world can attack Israel. And but anyways, I'm not even going to go there. I'm just, I talk a little bit too much that I even...
Oh, no, you're fine.
I even forgot about the main point, and talking about Israel and all this... but anyways, yes, but the thing is, yeah, the prophecy came, that what Hitler did to them. How many millions of people this guy exterminated?
Yeah.
And he was not in war with the Jews. He was in war against these other countries, and he focused on the Jews. What happened to him?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, he hated a race. Okay, it was blah, blah, blah. Oh, he wanted a perfect race. Oh, blah, blah, blah.
And it's unreal that people went with that.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, I was saying it was unreal that people just went along with that. I mean, it says a lot about the way they were manipulated, you know?
Because the mouth of Hitler was the mouth of Satan. That was the devil that was deceiving everybody. They were thinking, hey, I'm going to build a Reich, the third, or whatever he was going to be. He was there, and they believed him. And they didn't even know what he was doing, you know, behind doors, you know, exterminating. I don't know, some of them do, but that was just too much. They realized a lot of people didn't know, until they saw these piles of skinny skeletons the dire starvation, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I wonder, man. Anyway.
Well, it's it's sad because, and I'm not comparing the two, but it's sad because there's always been a faction of people who are just put upon, and they can't get ahead, and they're not given any kind of help to get ahead. And the fact that it just keeps happening over and over and over again is just really, it's frustrating to watch. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm poor by any means, but my goodness, it's a sad thing to see when you see so many people just starving when they should have something as basic as water.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, and wow, man, it's just, I'm telling you, there is an evil part of that exists in man, and sometimes when this evil part comes out of man, they just care about themselves and their people.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
They, for instance, you know what I mean? Like whatever happened in Puerto Rico, the disaster, the whatever before this recent earthquake, the worst.
Oh, the storm.
Right?
Yeah.
The disaster, the ruined Puerto Rico storm, the tornado, the big storm.
The hurricane?
The hurricane, okay. But you know what, man? They just found out that now that there was an earthquake, they found, by mistake, a warehouse, a huge warehouse. We're talking about where millions of things can fit. They had medical supplies, water, drinks, healing in this warehouse.
I remember I heard that.
That they were never given to people. Imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine what evil this is.
Yeah.
So they refused. They hid it. They hid a lot of the stuff: medicine, food, water that Puerto Rico needed. They found it by mistake. They found a few warehouses in Puerto Rico that were hidden underground. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
And who did that? Who done that? The big people. The political people. Somebody is suddenly the president comes and fires this person that supposedly did it. But man, how many people died because of that?
Yeah. I mean, they lose their job, big deal. These people lost their lives, and it was all there. It was available for them, which is just awful.
Imagine the thing, which is so needed in this situation, hidden.
Yeah.
For what purpose? You know what? The person probably says, "Hey, let's die a lot of people. We don't need a lot of people in this mode." And I think that island is going to be wiped out soon anyway. So those islands, it's so scary when you saw those little islands in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
It's got the Caribbean, it got Dominican Republic in one side, and I don't remember the other side. But it's like these islands are very dangerous, in the middle of the ocean, man.
And it's so sad that, that there doesn't seem to be any reason for why they had that stuff hidden away from them. I mean, just hidden and expired and rotting, and no reason for it. Now it can't be used.
No, it wasn't rotting. They had it very well. They had a plan. They had the thing. I don't know, for themselves. I don't know what. But the thing is that, you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because from God, nobody hides.
Yeah.
That's when it comes to consequence.
Yeah.
And this guy, even if he's a bad guy, you know how it is, this, right? First generation, second generation, up to the fourth generation. Just imagine. Maybe nothing happened to the person of Venezuela. There's an evil leader that has been starving a lot of people, not giving them food or medicine, because they want him out, and he refused to leave. He wants to stay by force. So this guy, we're talking about Venezuela, right? Yeah, I'm getting confused. Puerto Rico, Venezuela. Yeah. anyways, yeah. Let me tell you real quick. He may not pay. He may probably die, and flesh. But then, you know what? God says, okay, the guy's not going to pay. He's not going to pay. This is his children. This is children's. That's who's going to pay. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, someone is going to pay because God doesn't let anything go by. Anything that someone doing this magnitude of hurt, of harm, of death, of causing death. No. So, hey, God avenges, and God is a just. Why God is a just judge? He's not a corrupted judge. You know what I mean? Like the world we have everywhere in this world.
Right.
No, He's a just judge. God judges according to according to mainly, what we do, we gotta do good to people. That's the purpose of living. Love thy neighbors, you love yourself. Pray for your enemy, whatever. So God is a judge. You hurt somebody, you do something that, hey, what we saw, we reap what we saw. I got confused. Yeah, that's the bottom line. That's what we reap. Everybody's going to reap what you sow, and everybody there, I'm telling you, you are going to have a consequence if you're doing anything bad, if you're doing anything that you know in your mind that is evil, that is hurting others, because you may not pay the price. No, your mom, no, your father, or your sister, or your son, your daughter, they are going to be victims. You're hurting them. You're hurting your soul, dude. So you better change now and repent for what you're doing. Because God is for real, but many people don't believe in God anyways.
I know.
They think God is...
They think God is what?
And we talk about the fear of God.
Oh, yeah.
As you were talking about earlier, the fear of God. What is the fear of God in your opinion? When you say, because people take it back, what should the fear of God? What should be scared of God? They think of God like a wow. How do you explain that to somebody, the fear of God?
I guess when I talk about the fear of God, I try to explain that it's the idea that God is all-powerful and all-present and all-knowing, and that he is much bigger than we are. It's not about being afraid. It's about understanding his greatness.
Okay. The main thing that I see is the fear of God is knowing that he's always watching us. That is the fear of God. That he knows what we do.
Right.
He's always watching us. And that's one of my... The God is always watching us.
Right.
And the fear of God is not fearing, not, oh my God, he's watching me. Well, hey, it's like many say. Many believe in karma. What goes around comes around.
Yeah.
Hey, God is always watching, and God is going to prosper. He's going to bless. He's going to protect. He's going to give to those that do right. Those that don't, those that do right, believe and love him, and believe that he's God, he's omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, because it's everywhere. And that's it, man. And unfortunately, right now, as it is, the world, technology is really the final nail of the coffin. This technology is driving the new generation away from our omnipotent creator of the heaven and the earth, and the universe, and everything that lives, everything that has life. He's the life giver. And, yep.
Well, it's...
You seem like talking about God. That's cool, man.
No, that's all right. I mean, that's exactly why I wanted to talk to you. So I'm glad you were, you're being as open and as honest as you are. I appreciate it. I actually, I have to actually get ready to go because I've got to get ready to take my kids off to.
You know what? You can call me back anytime, bro. You want to talk about God with me?
Oh, yeah.
I study God, man. I have every day, bro. I gotta listen to something,
Yeah.
A sermon. Because every time I learn something new, that's the thing with God that it never ends. You keep on learning new things, and so feel good, man. I will save your number on my phone.
Oh, that'd be great.
Your name is Dave, right? David.
Yes, it sure is.
David, and listen, you got my email, right?
I don't think I have your email. I have your Instagram and I have your phone number, but I don't have your email.
All right, because you can send me an email and say, hey, listen, can we talk this day? Bro, man.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to talk.
Believe me, when I talk about this topic, man, I can go on for hours.
Oh, no, that's all right. I love it. I don't ever get to talk about it, so it's really nice to be able to talk about it.
And that's why, because I don't get to talk to anybody, another believer either. Not many believers. My wife is a non-believer that I have to deal with,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, that's all right. Yeah, well, no, I would love to talk to you again. I will,
okay, bro.
Well, I'll hit you up.
You know what? Make another, let's say, this is part 1. Let's make part 2. We're going to have some more questions about drumming.
Okay, that sounds good.
Want to know about my abilities, how I started this, what motivated me to start drumming, some of the things like that. Man, fans want to know. So part 2 will be more about drumming, questions, music. Okay?
Okay, I'll make it a date. That sounds good.
All right, we'll do it sometime next week, man, whenever you have time, man. Around this time is perfect for me, always.
Oh, okay, great. Well, yeah, I'll touch base with you, and we'll see if we can get that going next week. That'd be great.
All right. It's great talking to you. You have a great day. Man, God be with you.
Thanks. Thank you, Pete. I appreciate it. You have a good day, too, brother.
All right. No problem. Have a good day, man. It was great talking to you.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
It was great being able to talk to Pete about his spiritual journey. I found everything he had to say really fascinating, and I think that the idea that he has gone from one end of the spiritual spectrum to the other, and I just really appreciating him taking a few minutes to talk to us today. Make sure to go and check out their website, terrorizergrindcore.net. Also check out their Facebook at Terrorizer Grindcore. Also on Instagram at Terrorizer Official. Also, make sure you go over to heavy-vinyl.com where you can find all of our past episodes and you can find some vinyl or cassettes that you might want to pick up. On Facebook, we're at Heavy Vinyl and Cassettes. On Twitter, at Vinyl Heavy. And Instagram, at Heavy Vinyl Records. You can also check out any of our past episodes on any podcast platform you can think of. Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, CastBox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, and Podchaser. Check us out in about 2 weeks when we talk to vocalist Connor Garrity of the sludgy metalcore band All Hail the Yeti. So until then, God bless.